welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. My name is Tara, and today's video, if you don't already know, I'm a retailer for Redesign with Prima, and they just came out with their new spring release. So fun. They have some super cute bunny things and beautiful florals, and so we're going to be playing with some of those products today on some Goodwill thrift finds. So I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think in the comments. So today's first project is actually left over from Christmas. Thing about these is that if it doesn't sell in the store at Christmas time, you can always flip it for the next season. So we're gonna go ahead and take that little greenery off. I'm gonna sand down the words just to make sure everything is even. And I'm gonna give it 2 coats with the color Cashmere Fusion. And then once that is done, we are going to use Redesign's new mold called Springtime Bunny, and it has this cute little bunny family with some little Easter eggs and little florals, and I think it's just going to be fun to have a little family portrait basically out of resin on this little sign. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. And so yeah, 2 coats of the cashmere, and then I'm going to be using the Amazing Casting resin, the one that takes like 10 minutes. So you gotta work quick when you're using that resin, because a lot of times it'll set up before you're ready. Had that happen before. So yeah, it sets up within about 10 minutes. So you're gonna do like part A, part B, equal portions. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you mix for, I would say the longest you should mix for is like 30 seconds. And mix it really well until it's nice and clear. And then once it's clear, you can go ahead and pour. And then I use alcohol to spritz on the top to remove any of the air bubbles. Now comes the fun part where you get to make the bunnies come alive. So I chose Fusion's Woodwick for their actual faces and arms and legs. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint it on there and then just wipe it off so that it looks more like an antique glaze. You can also use a glazing if you want, but I think it looks really cute this way. And then I just had fun, you know, making their dresses really cute for Easter, and I painted the flowers and the eggs as well. So sit back and relax and watch the fun happen. So now I'm going to go in with my trusty Titebond Quick and Thick glue, and I'm just going to be gluing the bottom portion of them on. Want to make sure to get enough glue that when you squish on it, it actually oozes out the sides, and then I just use a little artist paintbrush to remove that excess. So I use my finger to spread it out really well, and then once you get all your pieces in place, you want to make sure to keep that stationary for at least, I usually let it sit overnight to make sure that it has a nice solid hold. And then once that was done, I went ahead and I added some little moss grass on the bottom with some hot glue. And then I felt that it was still a little kind of plain in a couple areas, so I went in with the IOD Alpha Belly stamp set and added some little tiny florals and painted those in and called it good. So let me know what you guys think.
Headlights on the highway, if you only knew. Being back here always makes me think of you. When the world is sleeping, do you think of me? With the road it's coming back again, coming back to me. I remember the long drives, the late nights in your car. I remember it all. Windows down, empty streets, you were all I used to know. You and I, forever, forever ago. And you used to drive me home. Now I drive alone. You and I, forever, forever, forever ago. This town's so quiet, this time of year. With the road ahead's coming back again, coming back to me. I remember the long drives, the late nights in your car. I remember it all. Windows down, empty streets, you were all I used to know. You and I, forever, forever ago. And you used to drive me home. Now I drive alone. You and I, forever, forever, forever I fell hard, I fell fast, hoping that my love for you would last forever, forever, forever ago. I fell hard, I fell fast, hoping that my love for you would last forever, forever, forever. Windows down, empty streets, you were all I used to know. You and I, forever, forever ago.
So project 2 is one of those really big MDF tags that you see everywhere, and it had a little saying on it, but it was really old, and it was kind of worn down, couldn't really tell what it was saying. So I'm just kind of wetting it down and rubbing off all of the paper parts on here so that I can get a nice smooth even surface. And once I get the paper off, I'm going to go ahead and with my little block sander and make it nice and smooth, and then we will paint a couple of coats of Fusion's raw silk on there. And I am going to be using Blossom Bunnies to transfer, one of the new transfers from Redesign. And you guys, this one is so dang cute. Like, their bunnies are adorable. So I'm definitely going to be using more of this transfer in upcoming projects because it's just perfect for spring. Transfers are one of my favorite things to use as far as being a creator, because they're simple, but they sure do make a project so much higher end and elegant and beautiful without a whole lot of trouble. A little bit of paint and a transfer, and you have a whole new piece. So here it is, guys. Look at how sweet these bunnies are. So cute. And they have really pretty florals. And so I picked out the little bunny there in the wreath, the oval wreath. And I'm going to put him at the bottom, and then I'm going to put some wording on top. Add a little bit of pink lace for the string on top, and this piece is done. If you've never used transfers, they come in this little vellum, and they have a backing that you take off. You place it right where you want it, and then you just use the little tool that it comes with to push down the transfer onto your project as you work that vellum up, and you'll see that the color difference change when the transfer has released. Very, very simple. And then you do want to burnish it in, like you saw me there with that vellum. Just kind of push down on it, make sure that it's all stuck down, and then you'll also want to seal it when you're complete. Now, Fusion does have its own sealer, so the paint doesn't need to be sealed, but the transfers do. And I'm going to be using DIY's Big Top to seal the transfers on. It's got a little bit of a sheen, but it's a perfect sealer for any transfers on a project. So, and also with these transfers, see how it's a little bit too long? You can always make your own, make it your own. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and then I'm going to make the little leaves go from up underneath it instead of on top where it was. So you can get really creative, cut these transfers up, make several different projects out of one transfer, which I love. And it's just fun to play around with. So I do encourage you, if you have not used transfers, go ahead and get one and just play with it. You know, they're pretty simple, and if you miss a piece, you can always lay the vellum back down, rework it with your tool, and then pull it back up, and usually it sits right where it's supposed to. So I hope you are getting some courage to do something different. You know, Fusion has some milk paint. A lot of people are a little hesitant with the milk paint as well, but I just encourage you guys to get out there, do something different. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something new. And oh, I actually used Big Top on this one. So this third project is a wooden bowl, and you can find these at thrift stores anywhere. Usually there's always some kind of wooden bowl. And this one had a really slick finish, but it was in great condition. There was no cracks or anything. So I'm just using a light 220 piece of sandpaper and just scuffing up the finish is all I'm doing. That's going to help the paint really adhere really well. And I'm going to go ahead and just use a baby wipe to wipe it down, and we're going to use Fusion's Raw Silk. This has like been one of my favorite colors recently. It's just a really creamy white, and I just love it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 coats, and then we are going to go ahead and make a fruit bowl out of this. So what I did before is I made a vegetable bowl, and I used IOD's Millets Pages, and it has a whole page of like different types of vegetables on it and some wording on what the vegetable names are, and then they have another one with fruit. So we're going to be using that today as well to make a fruit bowl, and I think this just turned out stunning. It's just really, really cool, and now somebody can use it on their island or their counter and have a little bit of fruit in there, and it's just a really cool piece. And here is that Millets Pages, and it's just a really cool transfer from IOD. They have a lot of different items in there. You can do so many projects with this. And so I like to do, when I do my fruit bowls or any kind of bowl, I like to flip it upside down and do it upside down. That just gives me an easier look at the actual lineup. I think it's a lot harder if you were to flip it around I don't know. I just prefer to do it upside down. It's just easier for me that way. Personal preference, I guess. So I'm just going to put these little items randomly everywhere, all over the bowl. And same with the wording until I feel it looks good. And then the transfer does need to be sealed again. So I'm going to go in with my Fusion this time and use the Tough Coat in matte. That is my favorite sheen to use. They have a Tough Coat in gloss. And the gloss I like to use on like tabletops or something that's a little bit going to be more used traffic wise, but the matte is just my favorite for like little home decor projects. And the final project today is my favorite. I found this really cool, huge wooden house in the Goodwill bins. And I really liked the color of the green, but it's pretty beat up, pretty dirty, wouldn't wash off. And so I'm definitely going to kind of choose something similar to that in my Fusion paint, just kind of give it a nice fresh coat of paint and add some IOD Rose Botanical transfer to it, and she turns out gorgeous, you guys. You'll have to let me know what you guys think, but I hope you enjoy watching the process. Okay, I'm curious to know, what was your favorite? Mine was the house. At first, when I went to the bins and I saw that in one of the big blue bins just laying there, I was like, how can anybody get rid of this? This is such a cool piece. And at first I thought it was a birdhouse, but then it has that hole in the back where you can actually stick a light in it and it'll light up. So super cool, really big piece. And I was excited to make it over. I loved the green that was on there, but it was all scratched up and dirty looking. So I went ahead and just picked one of my fusion colors that was close to that, which was bayberry. And I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. So as far as the products go, they are available on my website at thereclaimedranch.com along with the fusion products. So if you're interested, you can go there and find those. And yeah, let me know what was your favorite. Definitely the bunny things are super cute, but I just love that house. It was just a really cool, neat find. So let me know, and I will see you next Friday. Take care, guys. Bye.